As part of our strategy series on our website, let's answer the question of, does it really make sense to do strategic planning in such an uncertain world? I think there's a few answers to that question that I'm going to take you through. So people really struggle with that. I deal with a lot of people who say, geez, why should I bother? There's so much changing in our market and so on. I'm just not sure that developing a strategy is the right thing to do at this stage of the game. Let's wait for more certain times. I think the reality is that more certain times aren't on their way, or not, that's not reality. That's not happening anytime soon. So I think it's important that people put a stake in the ground and actually finally proceed and carry on down the path of developing their strategy. And I think to get people's heads around that, it's important that they stop thinking about strategy as something fixed. Like, we're going to develop the strategy, that's going to become a document, we're going to put that on a shelf somewhere, and forever after, that's our organization's strategy. I think people need to think about it as strategy 1.0, and no different than software. It's just, that's the first version that we've come out with, and of course there's going to be version 1.1 and 1.2 and 1.3, and then eventually when there's enough changes that have happened, or maybe on an annual basis, you're going to do strategy 2.0. You're going to go through and revise that and do an update on that. And we need to get away from this thinking of that it's this fixed thing. And in accepting the fact that it's strategy 1.0 and 1.1 and 1.2, that's recognizing that in this world of uncertainty, we're going to be adapting as we go, that the strategy is going to change, and nobody should go into it thinking that this is the strategy forever after. I think the next thing that's really important is, as we talked about when we talked about the inputs into the strategic planning process, it's that we're considering context. So there's a lot of uncertainty out there. It's really important that external context, what's going on in your market, what's going on around your organization that is going to potentially have an effect on it, that you're considering that. And in that external context, there's some things that are relatively certain, and there's a whole bunch of things that are somewhat uncertain. And it's important that gets considered in and is integrated into the scenario planning that you're going to go through and do as part of your strategic planning process. The next piece is, in addressing this uncertainty, is really leveraging risk management and building risk management into the strategic planning process. Risk we define as the uncertainty around the achievement of objectives. And so risk management is the management of that uncertainty to help you ensure that you're going to achieve your objectives. So by marrying the risk management program, your risk management program and tools into strategic planning, it's really helping harness the uncertainty and help you produce more predictable outcomes in an uncertain world. Number 4 is the people whipsaw. So what I mean by this is that in uncertain times, I work with certain business leaders who tell me, very uncertain, Brad, and I don't think we should go through a planning process right now. And I say, do you have any idea what the effect of that is on your teams? Have you talked to your teams and asked them what it's like when the leaders at the top of the organization see this changing world, this uncertain world, and want to maintain all this optionality and want to change the plan every week on where they're headed and what's going on, and then how that trickles down and cascades down through your organization and gets down to the levels. And it's no different than the whipsaw. At the top of the organization, it may seem like that it doesn't have that much effect. At the bottom of the organization, it's having a really dramatic effect on people, and they're very unclear on the alignment of the organization and where the organization's going and what they're supposed to be working on. And last week it was this, and next week it's this, and they really lack that overall alignment and clarity. And so it's a huge reason why people should go through this. And I encourage people to go talk to people at lower levels in their organization and actually ask them how clear they feel the direction is, and how well they understand that, and how well they understand how their part in delivering on that. And the last thing is the mission and vision certainty. We live in an uncertain world, no question, but I think there are 2 aspects of your overall strategy that by and large stay the same or consistent. Your mission is really your fundamental purpose for being in business. Well, even in an uncertain world, your fundamental purpose for being in business shouldn't change very often. And so there should be some continuity around your mission. And so that's one place where you can create some certainty for people and some continuity and say, no, the mission doesn't change. You know, I'm working with a company that's been in business since the 70s, and they say, that's exactly right, Brad. We haven't changed our mission since 1974 or whatever year it was they started the business. So the mission has certainty, and the vision is going to be where we see the business at in 3 to 5 years. Of course, the vision is going to change, probably on an annual basis, but the overall vision for where you're going to be in 3 to 5 years is probably it's not changing on a day-to-day basis. It's not changing even on a weekly basis. So there is some certainly annual certainty around that overall vision and direction. The part that's changing all the time is what are the things we have to do to be successful in delivering on that vision and delivering on our mission? Those things are potentially changing on a more frequent basis. But these things are adding a certainty element and a guiding light in that world of uncertainty. So I hope that answers why you should bother going through a strategic planning process in a world of uncertainty. Thank you very much for watching the video. I'm Brad Pickering, President and Founder of Innovate Advisory, and I look forward to working with you in the future.